Hello, welcome everybody to the rapid reaction of WWE Crown Jewel. Ugh. Um, we can start a lot of places. We can start a lot of places. I think the first thing we should start off with is definitely remembering the fact that there was a man who worked for the Washington Post who was killed. It seems like he was killed by the Saudi government, and I don't. I'm not. You just can't. You just can't let that slip by you. In this, with this whole thing. This whole thing has been just, it's been like, you know, ever since that happened, right? Ever since that happened, it's just been like, they've never mentioned Saudi Arabia. They didn't mention today on the screen. It popped up and said Riyadh or Riyadh or however you pronounced it, the city. The Hulk Hogan came out there. We'll get to Hulk Hogan in a second. Hulk Hogan came out there and he talked about. He never mentioned Saudi Arabia or the city because he probably can't pronounce it like I can. He just talked about Crown Jewel. When the New Day came out there, oh, Crown Jewel! I mean, everything. That's what Of course, we know John Cena and Daniel Bryan pulled out. So this was just, they allowed Renee Young to, to be there. But when you saw Renee Young, she was, the only thing her cover was her fingers. Her fingers were out, and of course her head. Everything else, what I saw was covered. It was covered in black. So, it's just, it's hard. I know it is. It's hard. I know it was hard for a lot of people. I saw it on Twitter. It was very hard for a lot of people to get past, what happened with that murder, and they decided to go ahead with this event, and so my thinking was that, well, what should I do about it? How should I, cover this? And I thought that the best thing I could do is just do what I normally do when it comes to these things. Cover them, react to it, do my rapid reaction to it, talk about it, watch it, whatever. But make sure that we don't forget about the Washington Post journalist that was killed over there. So, and I think that's the first thing I want to start off with. Is that before we get into any other deals that a man, unfortunately, life was lost, and so for that, right now we'll take a moment of silence to remember that Washington Post journalist. Okay, so now we have to make the very awkward segue into the event. And here comes Hulk Hogan, right? Hulk Hogan. And because there was some awkwardness when I saw him coming down the ramp and everything like that. I was very awkward. I was very cringeworthy. Because first I didn't know what the hell he was gonna say. He was received very well, which is why his first WWE appearance was over there, because I'm sure that the Saudi people have no doubt about what they did over there. About what happened over here, I should say. they probably don't know. They don't know about they don't know about the tape. They don't know about the language he used, and then they don't know about his seemingly half-assed apology. So they don't know about none of that. So that was the perfect place to have Hulk Hogan come back to WWE and have a thing. And again, Twitter, they make you think a lot of things. They were talking about the lyrics of Hulk Hogan's theme song. I am a real American, fight for the rights of every man. They playing that right over in there. And so, yeah, it made it even more cringeworthy. Listen, I know Hulk Hogan and the WWE they're entwined. They just are. This isn't a Chris Benoit situation where Chris Benoit has some parts about the WWE, but you can kind of like shove them under the table. Hulk Hogan and the WWE are entwined forever. There would be professional wrestling would not be where it is without Hulk Hogan. Let's see, the professional we still now I know some people may like this, but we still might be at the point where for professional wrestling, if it was not for Hulk Hogan, to the point to where they're still wrestling is still trying to get respect. Right now, professional wrestling has respect. It has respect as a viable entertainment option. It has respect as on some level as a sport, even though it is predetermined. The people in the ring, these are athletes, and and they do some great, fun, athletic things. So it has respect as a sport. It has respect as a whole lot of things, And but if it were not for Hogan and the WWF combining together, so that it could get to the point where that could happen, this would still be considered a thing where that was for the dumb, ignorant rednecks, and he just who don't know no better, who's just a dumb bunch of marks, just all of them. So Hogan and WWE, it has to be a thing, and he's in the Hall of Fame, and I think sadly he can be shown on television. He can be in their video packages. There's a lot of things that that can do, but I think at this point I'm not sure I'm very comfortable. Now I've forgiven him and everything like that, but as a viewer, as a watcher, I don't know if I'm very comfortable with him doing any TV stuff or any hosting or anything like that. I don't really know. I don't really know if I'm comfortable yet watching him. So we'll have to wait and see. But first, and actually, let me actually go back, because we did have a kickoff match. Very weird. They did the kickoff show from what looks to be like a Stamford, Connecticut green screen, right? Then they went live to Saudi Arabia, and kickoff match was the U.S. Championship between Shinsuke Nakamura and Rusev. Great, fine match between these two. Really glad to see that they defended the United States title. Glad to also see Rusev, get some more, get some more TV time. I really do think that they probably should, especially with what's happening with Roman Reigns. They might want to pull the trigger on Rusev, sometime next year. I really do think they can do that. Whether it's the Universal Championship or WWE Championship, see what can happen. See how good he can do. That would be just my opinion. But Shinsuke won with the obviously with the whatever the hell that thing is, the Kinshasa, and he retains the United States Championship. 3.25 star in my book for that. So that was the Chaos on the Kickoff show. We had the Hulk Hogan thing, and then we'll start the tournament. And to be honest with you, I don't even know if I really want to even go down this the way this is ended. So I don't know. Let's just go. We had Randy Orton versus Rey Mysterio. It's 2.5 stars. I would see this is kind of like the Mae Young Classic type stuff. I think this is not even though there were no time limits. These were just like short matches because you have to wrestle. You have to wrestle like 3 times in one night. At least some people did. And it was good. Ray caught Orton with a roll up, and he won. And then Randy Orton put a beat down on him after the match with some ribs. So he got that going out for him. And this is really just good old school heat by Randy Orton. Loved it. The next match was Jeff Hardy versus The Miz. The Miz won, defeated Jeff Hardy. Most of these matches had clean victories too, which is good. 2 stars for this one. Again, let's start off, the first round. Apparently, somehow he did a promo before the match. When he does the promo before the semifinal match, he's hoarse. So apparently, he got hit in the throat somewhere during that match. So that happened. Then we had Seth Rollins versus Bobby Lashley. This was 2.75 stars. This one was this one was it was one of those things where it really just put over the Stomp. It's really this is like this wasn't a big thing. I think Seth got a little offense in, but this was mainly dominated by Lashley. And yeah, as you can see, Leo Rush was out there. He talked during the entrance. He did not talk during the match, and I think that was a good idea because the Saudis do not know what obviously they probably do not know. Some of them do, but some of them may not know what necessarily he's doing, and so they just thought to keep him, keep him settled down throughout that. So I thought that was good. Yeah, Seth Rollins wins with the Stomp, and he'll move on to the next round. And then finally we had Kurt Angle versus Dolph Ziggler. Now, the way they had been doing the whole Kurt Angle thing, it made it seem like that he was going to win, right? Or at least make it to the finals. That didn't happen. Now, he had a kind of great old school type of match with Dolph Ziggler. I enjoyed the hell out of it. A lot of old school suplexes and catch can, mat wrestling type stuff. I loved it. You still got a little bit of it, and that's all he needed. That's all he needed. I guess when it came down to it, that's exactly what it did need. He did need just to, just to not try to do anything. Just do what you know, and and stick to what you know. And he ain't good, but unfortunately, he did not win. Dolph Ziggler won, but it was the match of the tournament, in my opinion. I had it at 3.25 stars. Then we go to the SmackDown Tag Title match between the New Day and Cesaro and Sheamus. And yeah, I mean, again, this is good. I've said this the last 3 or 4 videos I've done. Talking about wrestling. Tag team wrestling done effectively. It's good. It's real good. Excuse me. And this was done real good. These are, the 4 people in the ring were great performers, and we finished with a Big Show right hand knocking out Big E, and then a Bro kick to finish him off for the victory. To the bar remains SmackDown Tag Team Championship. This is the same old from these 3 Really, really good. There was one point in the match where Big E had Sheamus Cesaro up in the powerbomb, and Kofi went to the top and double stumped on his back. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if Kofi over missed it, and I've seen it where he got double stomps like on his chest or something, but he double stumped his back. So I don't know if that was something new they tried to do, but it just it didn't look kind of right, but. It doesn't matter. It didn't take away from the match. It was 3.25 stars. And now we go to the semifinals, right? Rey Mysterio versus The Miz. The Miz surprisingly wins this. Not surprisingly, he won this. So it was 3 stars. It was what it was. It finished with the Rey Mysterio trying to go for the top rope, trying to hit a frog splash. The Miz got his knees up and pinned Rey Mysterio 1, 2, 3, and that's how he won. So it made you say it was surprising how he won because Rey Mysterio kicked out was scored for his country finale, but he couldn't kick out of knees to the gut. So, but sometimes that's okay. I'm okay. I'm okay if somebody kicking out of a finisher. As we know, it's gotten kind of crazy. We'll talk about that again later. It's gotten kind of crazy over the past years where you just kick out a finisher after finisher after finisher. For me, if you kick out a finisher, then either the next finisher should finish it off, or you go to something else, and it ends with something else happening. So, but. That's not how it usually happens. Usually it's like 3 or 4 of them, and then it's over. But whatever. But not this night. Miz wins and goes on to the finals. And now we have Seth Rollins versus Dolph Ziggler, and this is pretty good. These two they know each other. They know each other really well. I had it at 3.5 stars. This one was pretty good. So good on them. And Seth Rollins won with a little help from Drew McIntyre, but he won, and he beat Seth Rollins. And then it's Dolph Ziggler versus The Miz into the finals of the World Cup. And I was trying to figure out, the heel dynamic here. No, to me, I had no problem with it because it's Saudi Arabia. Isn't they don't need they don't necessarily really need to cheer or anything like that. They don't need to get into it, but I just what it was. Yeah, just surprising. So now we have the WWE Championship, AJ Styles and Samoa Joe, and this was just a regular match. After having a no disqualification, no counter match, and anything like that. And I guess I understand why, because this was just, to fill in for what's his face, so that, Daniel Bryan to have a WWE Championship match on the show. And I thought it was okay. The finish was kind of abrupt. It was a phenomenal forearm to Samoa Joe, and he won. It was 3.25 star. I had it as and it was good. What it really seemed like was that they really didn't want to have anything really, really special, happen on the show. They didn't want some kind of really big match. They didn't want to have they didn't want to have a barn burner. They didn't want to have a 5-star classic or anything like that. They didn't want to have anything like that on the show that that they would have to go back and maybe talk about in the future or anything or have anything to be remembered by. So so nothing was awful, but nothing was exhilarating. You know what I mean? So so Samoa Joe, AJ Styles, went out there and did their job. AJ, retained the WWE Championship. The Universal Championship match was next, and this is where I wonder. I wonder what's going to happen over this weekend. Brock Lesnar versus Braun Strowman, and obviously we know that this is happening because Roman Reigns had to relinquish the title because of his leukemia diagnosis, and once again, your thoughts are with you, Roman. Get well soon. So this was, I think a lot of people thought that we're just gonna go ahead and put the title on Braun Strowman. They've been doing the Drew McIntyre thing. We're gonna have Braun Strowman and Drew McIntyre for the next 2 or 3 months, right? Wrong. Wrong. I was not surprised to see Brock Lesnar win. I was kind of surprised to see how he won it. 5 F5s, Braun Strowman really with no offense. 5 F5s finish off the big man, and Brock Lesnar is your Universal Championship. He's Universal Champion 2 times. Now I know that a lot of people are going to be upset by this. They're going to say, well, Jesus Christ, really? I mean, didn't we just go through this? And I understand that. But here's why I'm not too upset by it. One, I really don't see the Universal Championship as as a thing, so to speak. To me, it's the WWE Champion, and that's how it is. I'm not a big fan of having 2 champions. I'm not a fan of having 2 women's champions. I'm not a fan of having 2 tag champions. I'm not a fan of having 2 heavyweight champions. It should just be the WWE Champion, the Women's Champion, and the Tag Team Champion. If you want to have the Intercontinental Champion and the United States Championship, I can get that because of the history of the Intercontinental Championship. I understand the history of the United States Championship, and because you want to say Randy Orton is a Grand Slam champion, The Miz is a Grand Slam champion, Jeff Hardy, and everybody else who are Grand Slam champions. You want to be able to say that on TV because that's what they like to do. So I'm cool. You don't have to merge those. One can be on Raw, one can be on SmackDown, or they can switch off. Why? The champion doesn't have to be on every show and every week. He can be on SmackDown one week, the next week be on Raw. Same with the women's, same with the tag titles, right? Same with the tag champions. So I'm not a big fan of having a champion for like each show. I'm not been a big fan of that. So the fact that Brock Lesnar is the Universal Champion and that he's not going to be on Raw each and every week, I'm kind of okay with that. I'm kind of okay with that because to me, it's still the WWE champion. We still have the WWE champion. 2, and I say this all out. So to me, that's still Roman's title. They did all that work to work out Roman Reigns so that he could get that championship, and now he's lost it because of his illness. As cool as it would be to have, a Drew McIntyre, Braun Strowman fight over the Universal Championship, and I've said that I've loved Drew McIntyre's work so far, and in the last month or so, that I want him to be a champion. I've said that, but I don't. Yeah, it's still to me kind of Roman's title. So, yeah, I mean, they've already announced that he's going to wrestle at Survivor Series. We'll see if there are any. I know he's not going to have any title matches. We'll see if SmackDown has any title matches come up for AJ Styles. Otherwise, it's going to be a rematch of last year's match, which I fell asleep through. But everybody else said was a fantastic, match between the two. Brock was motivated, and of course AJ was AJ. So hopefully I can stay through that, and hopefully they have a better match. So yeah, that was that. Where does Braun go from here? Uh, I don't know. Braun is just probably Braun at this point, and that's just what it is. So good on good on Braun, and you know at least he's back to being a babyface. You guys can cheer him. You got that. And this is probably the second part of the ridiculousness of this show. And this is one reason why I said earlier that I kind of just think that they just didn't want anything, because of what happened, the murder of the Washington Post journalist, and because they just, they didn't want to have Jack Blank to do with this show. So they just decided to just go full on bullshit with this one. And the Miz and Dolph come out there. The referee throws Dolph, those what's his face, to the back, which I thought, it was good. So then Miz jumps Dolph from behind and does this, throws him to the outside. He goes outside and he hurts himself. There was a second, and this shows how good Miz's acting has gotten. There was a very second that I really thought that maybe he really truly had hurt himself. I was really saying, oh no. I was like, don't tell me he's actually hurt himself and he's torn his ACL or he's done something to his leg. I really thought that. But once they did the thing with Shane McMahon coming over there and doing everything, and once they did, and they had Shane, and they went to the referee. Referee had the announcer and say, and then Shane McMahon says, "No, I'm gonna do it." At that point, it becomes a work. At that point, it becomes a work. And then I breathe a sigh of relief because because the Miz is not really hurt, so that's really good. At least so. He could actually still be hurt. He could have hurt himself backstage, and maybe they called an audible. All that stuff is still viable. But let's face it, this was total bullshit. They know what to do. And someone on Twitter, they said something. They said they're still fucking with CM Punk. The CM Punk calls himself the best in the world. Don't forget, on SmackDown, they were chanting CM Punk. And Shane McMahon goes, I don't think he's in this tournament. So, Shane McMahon puts himself in the match, goes coast to coast on Dolph Ziggler, and wins, and he is the best in the world. No rating for a half star for the Lesnar Strowman title match. Absolutely no stars for this one. If I was somebody to go negative stars, I would go negative stars because this was just here's why I'm a little bit more upset at this, because I love the King of the Ring. I thought the King of the Ring, and this is giving me King of the Ring vibes. The night tournament. If you guys don't know what the King of the Ring was, or if you've seen the bastardized versions of it, like the ones with Sheamus and Wade Barrett did back in the day, King of the Ring was a pay-per-view where it was a one-night tournament. Eight guys in the ring, 8 guys, and then they would have, just like this. It would be a first round, the semifinals, and then the finals. Right? It was 8 rounds, and Bret Hart won the first one. Owen Hart won the second one. King Mabel won the third one. 96 was Austin. 96 was Austin, but 96 they did it different. 96. The first 3 were the best because you had all the matches in one night. That's 7 matches, right? Yeah, that's 7 matches. That's the 4. No, yeah, that's the 4 first round, the 2 semifinals, and the 1 finals. 7 matches in one night in the tournament, and that's what this feeling was. And with these 4-hour pay-per-views, you can, back then they did it into 3-hour pay-per-views. But with this 4-hour pay-per-view that they do nowadays, this is perfect for a tournament. So I was like, wow, this is giving me feels of old school wrestling, one night tournaments. And then they do that shit with Shane McMahon and Dolph Ziggler. So, I kind of feel like Brokeback Mountain here. Because you piss me off, WWE. You make me sick sometimes, but I can't quit you. I can't quit you. Not yet. I can't quit you. Not yet. So. That was that, and then finally we had the DX versus Destruction, Brothers of Destruction match, and listen, it was what it was. Listen, to be honest with you, I didn't want Shawn Michaels coming back, but it is what it is. Obviously, it was okay with Taker, I think all of them are getting paid like $2 million or something like that to do this match. So good for everybody out there. But I'm also going to say this: everybody out there, that needs to be their last match. It really does. That needs to be everybody's last match. Undertaker's, Kane's, Shawn's, Triple H's. That needs to be your last match. It really is, because its quality is going down and down and down. It really is. Although I know that's not going to be the case, because we're probably looking at Batista and Triple H at WrestleMania, and there's a possibility of Undertaker and Cena Part 2, with a longer version at this year's WrestleMania. So Kane is made in Tennessee. He'll probably, jump in from time to time. Shawn, now that Shawn has broken his retirement, I'm sure that he'll probably do another match or two at some point down the line. I'm sure they're going to go back to Texas for WrestleMania, so I'm sure that's probably the case for that. So, but in reality, this should be all 4 men's last match. I mean, Shawn Michaels was bleeding from the nose, at this point. No 50-year-old man should be bleeding from the nose. At least caused by another 50-year-old man. Now, if your nose just bleeds because, you're sick or something, okay. But not because somebody punched you in the face. So, I got a lot of respect for it. I give respect because they are 50-year-old men going through tables and putting their bodies on the line. So, Shawn Michaels doing the moonsault. I'm gonna give it the respect that it should be done, and give it 3 1/4 star. But I don't want to see it no more. I really don't want to see it no more. I really don't. So all in all, Crown Jewel as a pay-per-view was okay. The Best of the World tournament, tournament finals was garbage. Again, I had no problem with the Universal Championship, being put on Brock Lesnar. I know people out there are gonna have problems with it, but me, I was okay. It was okay. So, yeah, that's it. Post your comments down below. Tell me what you guys thought about it. Tell me what you guys liked and disliked. Obviously, let me know what your feelings are on the Universal Championship. I really want to hear what you guys got to say. What you guys feel about that. When I get through with this, I think I'm going to go back to Twitter and see what's going on. I'm almost certain Brock Lesnar is still trending. He's still trending. So I'm gonna go back to Twitter and check that out. And again, with all of this, Shame Man is 22. With all of this being said, we end this video remembering the fact that there was a man, a Washington Post journalist, who was killed in Saudi Arabia. So we never want to forget that as this event takes place. So that being said, be good to each other, y'all. Be careful out there. And I am out.